I've heard some Go engineers complain about how error handling works in Go, particularly having to check for the error and return it. Today we'll see a refactor pattern to move these errors up the stack and find out sooner if there's a problem. Let's imagine we want to create a struct which can upload some files to S3. This requires a session. However, creating a new session returns an error, and so our new has to also return an error. Now we'll use this component within our HTTP handler. Normal errors could happen during the upload, but errors could also happen during the creation of the component. So now we have to handle an extra error, and this is annoying. And here we can see an example of running that HTTP server. We open up listening on that port, and when we make a request, it looks like the server started fine, but lo and behold, actually we get an error right at runtime. We can clean up the error-prone pieces of this component by removing the error-returning pieces and using dependency injection to allow that session to come into the component. Jumping back to the HTTP handler, we can now inject that session into the component. However, this just moves our error handling into the HTTP handler. Let's refactor one more time, this time getting that error before the startup of the HTTP server. We can create this session right at the beginning. This is going to require us to do some dependency injection. So here we'll pass in our risky component. And we can now use that within the HTTP handler, remove the creation, and clean up to make the Go compiler happy. Finally, we pass in the risky component to the injection piece. Now here I want to explain just a little. Upload with component is a function which itself returns a function. When we pass in the risky component into this dependency injection function, it allows the HTTP handler via closure to access the component that we are giving it. Thus, we don't have to create the component at the time of handling an HTTP request. And we can see an example of this failing at startup time before we even try to load the HTTP server. If you learned something from this video, hit the like button and hit subscribe to get more of this content.